Welcome to the Friday, August 15th edition of the SVG-TV News. I am Khalil Kato. In our lead story this evening, the girls' high school is once again on top and has proven that in the academic field, it is the institution to beat. The school recorded the best overall pass rate amongst secondary schools across the country, with an overall 97.09%, according to Principal Andrea Bowman. This is the school's second best performance ever, following the 98% pass rate it recorded back in 2011. And while many have offered their own theories as to why the school has been able to be as consistent as it has, Bowman explains that it was simply a combination of natural academic ability and tradition.
Girls obviously have ability, okay? You must have, they obviously have ability, but it's part of the school culture. It's part of the culture where we expect it of them, they expect it of themselves. They work hard, teachers work hard, parents work with us, okay? And there we are. I mean, I'm saying it very simply, but it has to be consistent and there has to be obvious discipline. But the tradition, the culture means a lot and it works for us.
And while Bowman, staff and students of the GHS are basking in the success of this year's performance, the principal highlights that some subject areas which she says warranted some attention.
History, which is my pet subject. History is 87.04 this year, and history has to do better than that. History can do better, so we are looking into what is the problem there with history. Some things we're looking at, but we will do better in history. Right? We must do better, and we have done much better in history before, so we have to work on history. We're looking into why are we in the 80s for history, okay? And then again, quality of grades in English A. Yes, one of my pet areas. We have 96 grade 1s out of the 145 girls who wrote.
And while the GHS sits on top their pinnacle, the St. Joseph's Convent Kingstown was not to be outdone, as it stands out as one of the top performers in this year's Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examinations, edging out the St. Vincent Boys Grammar School for the second best performing school with an overall pass rate of 93.68%. While speaking to SVG-TV News, Principal Kalma Balcom described the feeling following the announcement of the results as overwhelming. She explains that it was by far the best results ever recorded by the all-female institution, adding that she is optimistic for repeated performances in the future.
Been on staff since 1985, and it's the first time that we've recorded passes of over 90% in the CSEC exams. So this is really a great achievement for the school. Apart from that, we've never recorded 100% passes in 16 subject areas. This is also great improvement. We've also seen improvement in the quality of the grades, more grade 1s and 2s. And I must make mention of mathematics, where we've moved from 70% to 83.3%. This is also an achievement that we want to maintain. I'm looking forward to even better results next year. We want to maintain passes in the 90s, but I would really like to see us go up to 96, 97% next year. And it's not beyond us. We have a very good group of fifth formers now, and they're hard workers.
Balcom says there were improvements in some subject areas such as integrated science, physics and chemistry. And while the school has performed well, Balcom says that her and her staff had discussed some new initiatives to ensure that the school maintains the standard.
Now that the students have their laptops, we are working towards having them do more research. We were even thinking of having them present lessons using the technology, and that would help to reinforce what they have been learning. So that is one way that we're going to go with the ICT in the classroom. Apart from that, we have to maintain our close supervision of school-based assessment to ensure that children meet deadlines. And for fifth formers, time management is really a problem. Our counselor has done a great job in helping them to do their study plans, their timetables and so on. But we will really have to look at the time management aspect and the SBAs, as I said, because the better you do in your SBA, the better your result will be.
And this despite the many challenges. Principal of the St. Vincent Grammar School, Curtis King, says that he is pleased with the school's 2014 CSEC results. The school recorded a 93.03% pass rate, which according to King represents the second best performance for the school.
Given the many challenges that the school encountered throughout this year, I speak safely when I say that the staff and we are very satisfied with the results at CSEC this year. In fact, last year our performance would have been 94.4%, and this year we gained 93.03%. Those two figures represent the best performance ever at CXC, last year being the best and this year being the second best. So, as I'm saying, we had some challenges. We had the science labs closed for a substantial period. We also operated for the entire year without the deputy headmaster and some other hiccups. So when one considers all those issues, I'm very, very pleased with our performance.
King explains that this year's results ought to be viewed in context with the performance of the other schools across the country, adding that the individual students' performances surpassed that of last year's.
We showed an improvement in our performance this year over last year by some 2 percentage points. And we are seeing more and more that parents and supporters in the corporate sector recognizing the value of education and are playing an important role in providing the necessary support. Of course, we still have to reach quite a number of parents because it is a challenge for many students who lack that type of support. But clearly, the data will show that where the parents are very supportive of the students, their performances are always better than where that support is lacking. So I want to encourage parents, I want to encourage the corporate sector, private individuals to continue to invest, if you like, in our youth education.
The Thomas Saunders Secondary School was also featured among the top performing institutions in this year's examinations with an overall pass rate of 85.27%. Principal John Renton says the results this year are encouraging and explains that the school has been performing progressively well over the years and the staff continues to work hard to maintain that standard.
I think that the staff expect a lot from our students and they try to demand what we know they can do. So I think that is one of the keys to our success. Over the time we've been improving the systems of the school. We're a young school. We're still feeling our way through the thing, where we're getting there. But there's always room for refinement and improvement, and we try to do that as well.
The principal has said that in the 6 years that he has been at the helm, the school has become a different institution. Renton says he will be discussing some initiatives which he did not disclose with his management team as they strive to move forward.
School today is a very different institution than it was when I took charge of it in 2008. At that time, the school was not yet a complete institution in that it did not have forms 1 through to 5. We've taken the school to a mature level now. This is our 5th time at the CSEC examinations, and each time, as I say, we've improved. We've consolidated in sports. So the institution is maturing. So I'm glad to say that I've been able to preside over that phase of the development of the school.
The Ministry of Education is mourning the passing of yet another educator, Grosina Richards. Richards joined the teaching profession in 1982 as a probationary assistant teacher at the Lomans Windward Anglican School. In 1987, she graduated from the Teachers College as a qualified teaching assistant and was appointed as head of the Turama Government School in 2008, a position she held until her passing yesterday. One person is dead and another hospitalized after a shooting incident in the Bel Air area this afternoon. Dead is Wilfred Woodley. and Lavid Foster of Bel-Air is now nursing wounds at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital after both were shot in a drive-by incident. According to police on the scene, the incident occurred shortly after midday outside a shop on the main road leading to the spa in Bel-Air. SVG-TV News will bring you more on this developing story as information comes to hand. Government delivers 3 more houses to flood victims. More local stories when the SVG-TV News continues. Welcome back. Yesterday, 3 more houses were distributed to persons in the Hope, Vermont area who were affected by the 2013 trough system. Director of NEMO, Howie Prince, in commending the persons for being patient while the houses were being constructed, asked for further patience from those who are still awaiting their replacement homes. Prince says the government is working tirelessly to ensure that their needs are properly met.
Not the best place to be. It's confined, you're not in your own space. There are lots of amenities that are not available to you that you would have if you were in your own house. Since we've already stocked it out this far, hang in there for a little bit while longer. I therefore want to say to people who are in the shelters, people like Mr. Jack, Mrs. Williams, Miss Williams, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Simmons, Mr. Brown, Mr. Haywood, you know who you are. We are moving very quickly to remedy your situation.
And honorary consul to the Czech Republic, Molten Mayers, speaking on behalf of the ambassador of that country, says the project was made possible by a grant from the Czech government and the people.
The Czech Republic, situated in the heart of Europe, has developed both financially and economically over the past decades. This development has allowed them and propelled them to extend financial help where it is needed in developing countries like ours. The funding provided is indicative of their generosity. Immediately after the horrific floods in December 2013, our beloved Prime Minister implored all Vincentians, both here and abroad, to help in the reconstruction of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to provide relief to the citizens affected. Tears came to my eyes when I saw the level of devastation, especially when I visited Rosebank. I immediately took heed from the Prime Minister and met with Mr. Howie Prince, who informed me that there was a dire need to relocate and provide new houses for citizens who lost their houses. I subsequently sent an SOS to Her Excellency Editor Herder with compelling photographs of the devastation.
Meantime, Chairman of the Housing and Land Development Corporation, Beresford Phillips, thanked all the countries that supported the project.
Special mention must be made of the Czech Republic for donating directly to the building of these houses here at this site. We wish to express a heartfelt thanks for your contribution of approximately 200,000 EC dollars.
Disaster preparedness and management and the recovery and rehabilitation after disasters must be at the top of any government's agenda. That's according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves while speaking at the handing over of the houses yesterday. Dr. Gonsalves notes that with SVG being one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world, disaster management measures must be integrated into all public policies.
Because proper disaster management saves lives.
Correct.
And the people who are the worst affected in disasters are the poor and the indigent. So when you put proper disaster management systems in place, the policies relating to that are policies predominantly in favor of the poor and the indigent.
Dr. Gonzalez further explains that while the not-so-fortunate persons here cannot afford to build houses that can withstand disasters, his government will assist in doing so.
These houses and all the low-income houses we are building and all the houses, the wall houses we have rebuilt, whether on site or on relocation, they are built to withstand winds of 150 miles per hour. That means to say, we build the houses to withstand hurricanes which are up to twice of what is a category 1 hurricane, which is 75 miles per hour. That is what we do.
Colonial rule is said to have left residual effects in the power of authority, sexuality, gender, knowledge, and the general understanding of what it means to be human in the Caribbean. Dr. Halima Deshong shared this view last evening at the University of the West Indies Open Campus lecture entitled The Coloniality of Everyday Violence. Dr. Deshong says the region has had a history of native genocide, conquest of native communities, enslavement, and indentureship, which has impacted modern society.
Everyday violence, the everyday violence of contemporary Caribbean societies is inextricably linked to the brutality and violence of that pre-independence period. But what is the precise nature of this everyday violence experienced by Caribbean people? By everyday violence, I refer to the interplay between the more visible forms of collective and interpersonal violence and the less visible forms of control and domination that can be likened to the cultural ascendancy of the belief systems of dominant groups within our social systems.
The 2014 Fisheries Summer Program, which was geared at teaching the youth about fishing and the careers which lie ahead, came to a close today. Acting Chief Fisheries Officer Jennifer Cruikshank-Howard, while speaking at the closing ceremony, says sustainable development and the utilization of marine living resources are topical issues high on the agenda of the stakeholders, the fisheries organizations, and various governments and international communities. She says, therefore, persons must be mindful of the fact that they depend greatly on marine living resources as a major source of food.
And for others, the provision of other services. Quite appropriately, the theme for this year's Fisheries Summer Program is Marine Sustainability for the Youths of SVG. Our marine environment plays a significant role in our daily lives, whether it be economic or social. Today, there are more than 150 million people who depend on fish for all or part of their income and livelihood. Here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there are approximately 2,500 persons who depend on the fisheries for their livelihood or part of it.
An environment summer camp hosted by the Caribbean Youth Environmental Network, CYEN, came to a close yesterday in Sandy Bay. The close had a showcase of different arts and craft which were created by the youth in the program. Project coordinator Ariel White says the theme of the program was literacy and the environment, with an aim to address literacy skills through environmental and life skill activities.
The goal for the program was an increased life and leadership capacity of the youth in the Sandy Bay community to help improve literacy education through environmental and life skills activities. We had 9 wonderful youth leaders here to help us do the programming. So for the whole week we had different sessions. We had a 6 and under group, we had a 7 and 9-year-old group, and we had a 9+ group. And we had youth leaders in every session doing arts activities, environmental activities, life skill activities with all the students, and reading and literacy activities with all the students.